Hi, fabulous. If you are a woman over 40 or nearing retirement age, you need to listen to this episode today called Forget About the Moolah. Hi, I'm Ali, aka the Law of Attraction Lover. I love the law of attraction because it changed my life and took me from a life where I was desperate and depressed to a life where I wake up happy and excited for the day. And now I'm on a mission to help as many people do the same. But my mission has changed slightly over the years, and I will talk about that today. I had no idea my life would change because of a simple 10-minute practice in the morning. Then I started to notice some positive changes, and I correlated it to this practice, and understandably I wanted to do it more. Then I followed inspired action to start a blog called The Law of Attraction Lover. And I appreciate that I cannot say lover any other way. It's because where I come from in the West Country in the UK. And because I was honestly too shy to share my face and name at the time, probably resulting from years of bullying as a child in personal relationships and in the workplace. I have since studied to be an advanced practitioner in the law of attraction and Ho'oponopono, an ancient Hawaiian art of problem solving, but I had no idea that that was going to happen either. I've also written a book about how to use these techniques to help with being bullied at all ages, called Beat the Bullies Using the Law of Attraction and Beyond with Ho'oponopono. Because if you're aware of the law of attraction, people hear it and then they try to implement it, and a lot of the time it doesn't work. I believe that there's a lot more to the law of attraction, and we're becoming to become aware of this. But for me, Ho'oponopono had the missing keys, and I talk about that in that book. So if you are someone that's experienced bullying in the workplace, or you have a child that's experienced it's just some simple tips and tricks to try, and I highly recommend it, and I will put the link for that in the show notes. I've also become a master life coach. I've turned my simple morning practice of the 10-minute practice into a 5-step framework, and that became a full morning routine. I give this away for free now to anyone and everyone at, of course, mywakeuphappy.com. I've manifested a brick and mortar business by writing something on a gold card, inspired by Bob Proctor. And now self-taught myself how to build and create digital assets in my 50s. And because of my incessant love for learning and studying personal development, the law of attraction and Ho'oponopono, an unexpected passion also cropped up with my I've got a passion about modern marketing techniques that manifested because of my brick and mortar business and trying to advertise that. I see and hear information that I feel can be misleading as well. So over the years, so someone at a different levels of awareness, and I understand myself and why others may have not always had great results with the law of attraction. And I share why I feel that is, and that maybe, and what I'm learning now, I'm finding that works for me, I'm sharing that as well. And because so many incredible, intelligent, talented women would come into my shop and say that they envied me, but then they would immediately write themselves off as talentless or too old. That really frustrated me. And then more and more people actually started to gravitate to me for advice and guidance on how to turn their passion projects into business. And I did it for free, helping these people, may I add. And then finally the penny dropped. I might not be the best at this, but I'm better than some. And there are people out there who I can definitely help. And now I want to inspire as many women as possible that are potentially over 40 and beyond, that they can create their own lives of freedom and joy and wake up happy doing what they love and loving what they do. But now there is a caveat. Now, as I see more and more people going into retirement age and having still to work because they literally cannot afford to retire and enjoy life, I want to educate women over 40 how to start to create online income streams and inspire them that it is possible for them too. And ideally, eventually creating multiple income streams alongside their current paid careers, etc., to allow them to glide into retirement age happy and free of financial concerns or the need to carry on working. Or, and this is what really excites me, even leave or help even leave creating someone else's passive income, as I call it, long before retirement age, because they have created a steady passive recurring income or stream or streams of their own, and they have their own financial independence, so they don't need to work for somebody else. So if you're working for somebody else and you're getting paid a salary or a wage, you're helping someone create their passive income or their recurring income because they followed their dream. Wouldn't it be great, while you are helping them do that, you are starting to build your own income streams, and you create such an income stream or streams that you're able to actually stop making their passive income and make your own and leave and make even more long before you've actually retired. But the caveat is, after running a brick and mortar business myself and learning the reality of being landlocked 6 days a week, usually working 7, working longer hours than I've ever done before, and always trading time for money and having a capped income, and never really getting time to work on my online businesses that I dreamed about building and my income streams, despite advising and helping others that came to me to start their own physical business utilizing social media, I am not interested in supporting that kind of business anymore. Sorry, but not sorry. Because I cannot feel aligned in my soul to help support someone to put themselves into that time-trapped, income-capped hamster wheel. Maybe I was there and did that myself. I always dreamed of being self-employed, being an entrepreneur, but the reality of having a brick and mortar business made me realise that it's not all fun and games. It's longer hours. I did enjoy it, but you don't get off that hamster wheel. When you go away or something, you'll feel like you're capping your income stream and you should be earning, or worrying about what if I'm not working and I'm enjoying this weekend away or this holiday. You usually get contacted while you're away as well. For me personally, taking orders, etc. And I've helped a lot of people that were helping somebody else create their passive income, then create their own business, but they were usually a brick and mortar style, a time capped one, and I don't feel aligned with that. I don't want to put somebody into that trap. So now I'm purely focused on building and learning more about how to build my own digital online location, time, and financially free multiple income streams, and educating myself on the ever-changing digital landscape, and then teaching others how to do the same from either free content like this or paid content and services like my own online membership community, the LOA Lovers Club, or one-to-one mentoring with me for a way to truly fast-track the learning with the ease and flow of LOA and Ho'oponopono practices woven into the learning experience. So I believe that I manifested the business and I was overjoyed by that. But then the reality of it, I believe I'm here now for a purpose to show other people or warn people of the time trap of doing that thing and the income cap on it. But if I hadn't had that brick and mortar business, I wouldn't have become passionate about online marketing tools. So I believe everything happens for a reason. And especially with Ho'oponopono, you find that about divine timing. I believe we are moving into a new era of conscious creation in unison. I knew I'd say it that way round. So I'll say that again. We are moving into a new era of conscious creation in unison with the universe as our CEO. So the universe is our partner in business. It's helping us and guiding us to what's truly right for us in the easiest way. We are never alone in this journey, even though we often act as we are alone, which is the level 2 way of operating in something called the 4 levels of consciousness, which I'm very passionate about and I talk about in other episodes, in other content as well, which is what most people try and do when they learn about the law of attraction, myself included. And this is where very goal-driven people are when they set goals and they decide to take responsibility for their future, but they do it from a very level 2 hard hustle way. But let's start to create from the level 3 of the 4 levels of consciousness, which is called Free Me, which means we alone or allow divine guidance to come through us and then act on that inspiration that comes through us and that guidance and take any inspired action steps we feel guided to take, which in Ho'oponopono is called going to zero. You can go to zero by just taking some slow deep breaths or meditating, but it gets all the chatter out of your mind, and then we are clean and clear, and then we can be, and we're not being guided by our subconscious fears and doubts. We are being guided by pure consciousness that's coming through us. So with all that said, let's get on to today's episode of the Fab and Over 40 show, which I've mentioned before, is entitled Forget About the Moolah. So I was inspired to do this episode by something that happened yesterday, but it may be worthwhile going back to after this episode to listen to episode 11, Be More Like Elsa, after you've listened to today's episode, and it also may be, I cannot remember off the top of my head, but it may be worth going back and finding the episode entitled What Would Abundance Do as well. So if you are female and 40 or over, you need to listen to this episode today of the Fab Over 40 show, because more and more people are starting to see the potential and opportunities of this era we are living in, but they don't know where to start. Others see people making lots of money online, but do not see it as a potential for them. Phooey, I say, and that's why I was inspired to write this today. Not write this, speak this. I do a blog as well. So yesterday I met with someone and I offered to help set up their podcast. Initially, they said they would pay me, and I admit I saw them as a new one-to-one client, and I thought, thank you, universe. But I had known this person for a very long time. They supported me in my previous brick and mortar business, and they bought products off of me, a lot of product, and they gave me orders for their business that helped my business. So I found myself saying that I didn't want payment. So initially I thought they were going to be a one-to-one client. And then when I was in front of them physically, I just felt it come through me to say, I don't want payment. I admitted I don't want payment, but I see you compensating me in other ways. I said it would be great if you provide me with a testimonial, if you like what I show you, and you have a massive network that could potentially I could be brought in front of, and lots of potential clients. And I would love it also at some point if we do a collab on each other's podcasts. So there is a saying now, it's not about competition, it's about collaboration. I did say that we were moving into a new era, and a lot of people are seeing that. Potential business people out there that, I don't think that they mind me saying this, but I know of 2 men in particular, they were quite rivals because they were very similar in what they did. And now they collaborate a lot, and I see a lot more collaborations. So I follow divine inspiration to say this, trusting in the process of the universe and its higher purpose. This is what happens when you are a disciple of Ho'oponopono. You know that there is nothing to fear, and you let go and trust. So the subconscious programming of poor money mindset would be, and it probably was, chatting away in my head going, what on earth are you doing? Here you're doing it again. Here's this person offering to pay you for your skills and knowledge and expertise that you've invested in, and you're giving it away for free. But this time I did it on my terms. I followed in divine guidance, inspiration. So I did, like I said, I thought they were going to be a one-to-one client, and then that's what I felt inspired to say. I feel that there's a bigger purpose, a bigger benefit there for both of us. And you know there is not, like I said, in Ho'oponopono, you know there's nothing to fear, and you can let go and trust. They admitted I blew their mind, but in a good way, and were impressed by all the knowledge and abilities that I had. But the honest answer, I found a passion I never knew I had via a route I hadn't anticipated only really in the last 3 years. And the truth of the situation is I'm soon to be 58. So my question to you is, what's your excuse? What really turned things around for me was when I thought I was learning these skills from my own personal dreams and goals and desires of creating location free and time free multiple income streams. I was hearing many incredible women say they envied me, as I mentioned earlier, but almost instantaneously, they would write themselves off as not being able to fulfill their own dreams and desires. And usually they were far younger than me. So it became a mission and a vision to educate women over 40 to the fact they can turn what they love and love doing into an income, and even multiple income streams, creating financial independence and security, going into retirement, ensuring the rest of their lives are the best of their lives. So time flew by for us, and they admitted it was great to be finally able to talk to someone on their wavelength. And that feeling went both ways, to have a physical conversation that is a bit far and few and far between kind of thing. I have lots of conversations with people online. I have lots of people help, but for someone to actually have that drive and that vision to say that they can do this, and they've had this inspiration to want to start a podcast. And I won't go into it further, but we had different other conversations as well, that I believe that most of the people that are around us don't see our vision. And sometimes we have to start doing it anyway, however crazy it seems, and we have to find ways to go about this with possibly them not knowing, so that they, as I call it, I am going there, that they don't pee on our bonfire. So they were just amazed how much how time they were enjoying it so much, and they just kept saying, I just can't believe we've been sat here this long, because it felt like minutes, and they were like buzzing from what I was showing them. So after we set up an account for this person, so I've got to admit, I do have notes, because it all comes through me, what I want to say, and I have to write notes, otherwise I get off on a tangent like I did just now, and I get really passionate about this. So I helped them set up their account. We did other things as well. Showed them how to buy a domain name. We tested out hashtags for the name of their podcast to see if there was anybody else out there doing it. So it wasn't just that. I showed them how they could record an episode and upload it to YouTube and upload it to their now a podcast account. But I said what I wanted them to do from in the beginning was just record a few episodes, and then we do the rest of the technical stuff next time that we met. So we set up their account. I suggested them some tasks to do before we next met. And then I added a disclaimer. And this is where I'm going all honesty. And I think part of like meeting with them yesterday, seeing how passionate they were, knowing and trusting that there is a community out there. There are people that need to hear this, because they have a feeling that they can follow their dreams and desires, and but they just don't know where to start. So I added this disclaimer. I said, don't do it for the money. Don't do it for the moolah. But Ali, you may be saying, you claim to help women create multiple income streams. Thankfully, they were absolutely 100% on the same wavelength about this as well. So I told them the truth of my own experience of learning these skills and launching my own digital assets. I didn't see at the time, well, this was a long-term genuine desire to do this, but I didn't know at the time how to do it. And I was brought in front of the person because I had faith at some point it would happen. So I'd invested in lots of different mentors, but they didn't get how the message I was trying to get across of what I've seen as the vision that I wanted to do. But I got frustrated by this, that I'd invested them, but they seen their vision their way, not my way, which can quite often happen. But I had faith that somewhere along the line it would happen. And then I was brought in front of a person by a set of circumstances that showed me how to do this. So I had this long-term genuine desire, and now I'd found how to access it, the learning and the ability to fulfill it. But I didn't realise I was motivated by fear as well. So because I seen this alignment and seen that this was no accident, this is what I was asking for to do, I was excited. And I've seen the synchronicities, as it's called, when you have a vision and then suddenly the right person comes along, etc., or the ability, you feel like you're on the right wavelength. But there's subconscious programming playing underneath. And I didn't realise that I was motivated by fear. And when I launched, I had crickets, lots of crickets, absolutely zero reaction, despite, and that's why I want to say this, because I believe that people can create a life they love, but I want to get it out there that from my experience, the honesty of it, because I don't want people to go through what I went through. So I had absolutely zero reaction. Like I said, I spent months learning these skills and I believed that I'd done everything right. So I was excited that I believed as soon as I launched, I was going to get at least some reaction and I was going to create a new income stream and build on that. I now know that crickets are common even for the most successful now multimillionaires, because I've listened to people since that have said that we see them as they are now, really successful, some people household names, making lots of money doing what they love, but we didn't see them in the beginning. We didn't see that they launched a YouTube channel or wrote a book or created an online course and nothing happened, but they kept doing it anyway. And this was the last thing that I wanted, because I was really reliant on this income stream due to my now failing brick and mortar, due to the effects of COVID and the lack of footfall. But again, from perspective, if I'm totally honest, I was done mentally with the brick and mortar business. I was losing the passion for it. I was getting tired of the hamster wheel that I talked about. And I really wanted to create these online courses. I didn't realise at the time I was going to create a membership community. That was another set of circumstances that came along. But I wanted to create location and time freedom. Excuse me, I've got a tickle. I'm going to have a cough. I'm not going to pause or stop. I'm just going to have a little quick drink. Yeah, so if in all honesty, I say that I wanted to create this income stream because I could see the lack of footfall and the lack of income from my business, and I'd wanted to be creating online income streams, but the brick and mortar business didn't give me the time or the ability to do that. But I believe that once I launched this, it would subsidize or bolster up the brick and mortar income. But if I look back, I think I could have made it work. I could have used social media online. I could have come up with strategies to make enough money, but I wasn't motivated by it anymore. I wasn't invested in it. I was invested in these other things. And then when I launched, nothing happened. So this actually put me in a major mindset funk, as I would say it, after putting so many hours into my efforts to learn and apply these new skills, and then nothing happened. So I'm not sure if you're aware of this person, maybe you are or maybe you're not, but Napoleon Hill says, in every adversity lays the seed of its equal or above success. And I thankfully eventually acknowledged I was entrenched in fear and worked diligently on my mindset. And I must have done something right, as I'd allowed a chink of inspiration to creep in the form of Ho'oponopono. And a solution came in a totally different way to create another income stream, taking the pressure off. It was also via Napoleon Hill an inspiration to reread his incredible book, Outwitting the Devil, that I truly believe is even better than his most famous book. Like I say, you may have already heard of Napoleon Hill, but most people quote and thank his book, Think and Grow Rich, for their success. But I came across the realization that I was acting out of fear subconsciously, and that's how the devil gets in, from his book that I felt inspired to listen to. So I'd already listened to it before, felt it was amazing. I'd read it and promised myself that I would carry it around with me and read it on a daily basis. And I dropped out of that, but I felt inspired to go back to it. And when it says in the book, that's how the devil gets us and deters us, I'm not talking about, a guy with a bright red guy with a forked tail and tongue and horns, etc. But it's anything that's like, fear. I'm losing my track a little bit. So fear, anything like that, it takes, this is what imagine there is a devil and he's out there and he's like, ha ha ha, I'm going to get you. You say you want to achieve this, I'm going to stop you. It might make you have a row, say, with your partner, or other things come along to deter you. And I've had that, or curveballs as I call them. And that's how it gets us. But thankfully, Ho'oponopono teaches us that we need to let go and trust and have faith in the universe, and that everything is perfect and working out for our highest good. And that's what I've become passionate about now as well, is educating people how we get deterred by fears and things, and that if we hold a faith in the unseen, then things will come for us. But I see how I've got deterred by fear, but anytime I've had faith in something, it materializes. So does this mean that I do not worry anymore? Does this mean that I don't experience waves of anxiety? Absolutely not. I still have these sensations daily, as I think we always will. But I appreciate that I always will and always have to do the work if I want a better experience. But I believe the work is easy. In my club, the Law of Attraction Lovers Club that I mentioned earlier, I am creating an ever-growing archive of hacks to help people keep that fear at bay and allow a faith in the unseen that I mentioned. So that's why I'm saying, forget about the moolah. My apologies. Just start following divine inspiration. Just start taking time for something that you love and just start having fun with it. Do what brings you joy and what you are most passionate about, and would do even if you knew you're not going to make a living from it. Trusting that the universe knows what is perfect for us, and just be aware of any inspirational nudges, as I call them. However crazy, whatever anybody else would think, you've got to follow them. You've got to find a way to follow them. And it may seem, and do that, and do it anyway, and know that you are being led. There is no accident that I ran into my friend and a conversation occurred. It was no accident. The contents of that conversation led them to say they wanted to start a podcast, but they didn't know how to do that exactly. And they ran into the exact person who knew how to help them. Every thought and intention we have is energy, and it emanates away from us out into the ether, and it can attract back the people and the exact circumstances that we require to make that desire a 3D reality. That's the law of attraction in action. But I believe there's a new way to apply the law of attraction. The true way is to surrender in faith without fear, to allow alignment with our desires to occur, and therefore their manifestation is more effortless, and it makes the perfect channel for it to happen without possibly blocking or delaying energies like I had. What the universe wants for us is always far more amazing than we can ever envisage from our 3D physical perspective. And by surrendering, instead of trying to control the outcome, we create the perfect environment for that to occur. So while we're doing the things that we love, we're raising our vibration. And when our vibration is high and positive, we allow those circumstances and people, etc., to make it come into fruition. But when we're desperate and our energy is low, we're blocking out the opportunities. I now see the error of my ways. I see how I was acting out of fear and trying to control the outcome and blocking the ability for the 5D higher power of the universe to support me, because I was so fixated on doing everything my way, and I was not allowing space for the guidance that is always available to whisper us and whisper to me. And it's there. It's closest to us than our own breath, and it's there any second. The opportunity to connect to it is in any second and every second. But I see now that the crickets is normal and I wasn't doing anything wrong, but because I was fixated on the moolah, I put too much pressure on the outcome. Being fixated on the moolah took away the fun and the joy of the activity. I see now it's okay to start perfectly imperfect and improve along the way, and that's a good thing. Like I've touched on earlier, just get started, because nobody's listening. There's going to be crickets. Nobody's going to know who you are. And in the beginning, no one is looking, because you can, and then you can have fun along the way while you build your skills and your confidence. There is a way that if you wanted to do Facebook Lives, you can do Facebook Lives just to yourself and go live on Facebook, but nobody else will see it. There is a way that you can record YouTube videos and you can make them private. I tend to not, I just put it out there now, and I don't tend to, excuse me, to go back or look at it. But if you wanted to, I don't recommend it, but I just want people to know that there is the option just to have a practice and a play with nobody looking. Because in the beginning they won't, and that's a good thing, because honestly, trust me, if you feel the fear and do it anyway, the more confident you will get. I do hear people say that we see people that are really successful and they do these things, but they tell you that they still feel shit scared, to be honest, when they do it. I love that I hear that, because when we see highly successful people, we don't think that they get scared anymore, because they come across to us as really confident. But just know that they're not necessarily confident, and that crickets are good in the beginning because that gives you the chance to build your foundation of what you want to do and get better at it. And gradually, the more you do it, then people will start to be attracted to what you do. I see now that I was not lost along the way. I see now I was meant to learn these valuable skills along the way. I see now I had to take this path to learn these skills, but to implement them later with better understanding of my true purpose. So nothing was lost. I thought that I had to learn those skills to launch my digital assets when I did, and then I had crickets. But nobody can take those skills away from me now. But at the time, because I was acting out of fear of financial reasons, I didn't see what the true purpose of it was. Like I said, nobody can take those skills away from me now, but now I'm aligning them with the purpose I have now and the knowledge that I have now. But most importantly of all, I learned to forget about the moolah and have fun along the way, and surrender to the perfection of the universe, trusting it always knows what is perfect and right for me, and there's never ever a reason to doubt or fear. The universe knows what the perfect time and the perfect avenue is for us. We don't, from our 3D perspective. I always say now, if I do feel that fear of anxiety, I instantly, I say, what would abundance do if I fear of money? That's why I recommend listening or watching that episode, depending where, what channel you are accessing this to. And I just say, I let go and trust. But if you're thinking, Ali, but that's okay for you, you know what you wanted to do or what you are good at. I knew what I wanted to do, but that has evolved so much. What I thought I wanted to do, so the essence is still there, but what I thought I wanted to do and what was my purpose, I suppose in the beginning, I wanted to do online courses about the law of attraction and help people, but it was about the money. It was about creating an online income to create freedom, money freedom. I have what I call the freedom empire builders. So freedom can be any way that in the beginning it was about creating financial freedom for anybody to live on their terms, but now it can be freedom that's exclusive to the individual, what creates freedom for them. So I'm losing my train of thought now. So if you're, like I say, if you think you know what you wanted, that's what I was going to say. If you might be thinking, yeah, but you know what you want to do. I thought I knew what I wanted to do 2 years ago. That has evolved into something else. Probably what I thought I wanted to do a year ago, 6 months ago, is even bigger now. It's like if we imagine what our ultimate reality is, and then we get it, we'll create a new reality. So it's all cool and it's all fine and it's all part of the process. But maybe my mission will grow even bigger and it will come to me, but it'll all be on the same sort of line. I feel that helping women over 40 to create income streams to go into retirement happily and financially free is part of my vision now. But I'm not worried if it changes. And you could be saying, I don't even know what I'm passionate about and what makes me tick. But don't worry about that. I have a tool for that. So it's called Fabulous Freedom Passion Finder. So I touched on that. Everybody is fabulous. Everything is fabulous. It's all about fabulous freedom on your terms. It's a simple tool that is designed to tap into what makes you tick, what lights you up and makes time flow with ease and makes hours feel like seconds, that it did with me and my friend the other day. Because I know what it's like. We get busy. We surrender what we want to everybody else's wants and needs. We have a family, we have a career, we have partners, and we lose ourselves in that. But it's still buried in there. It hasn't gone away. It will never go away. You had a purpose, you had a mission to bring to this world. Every single person on this planet does. I believe this tool helps dig it back up. But Ali, you may be adding, because I've just said all that, I don't have any time or money for that. All my time and money is given to everybody else. I've got you covered. It only takes a couple hours at most. Or feel free to break it down. Feel free to access it, look at it, know what to expect, and then prepare. That's what I suggest in it. Prepare a specific date and time that you've got time on your own to go through the practice to tap into what makes you tick. But it may be that you get yourself aware of it, associate yourself with it, and say, right, I'm going to block out half an hour there, I'm going to block out 15 minutes there, or you're just going to go for it. But because I want it accessible to as many people as possible, I've only made it the cost of a coffee. And because I'm passionate about proving you do not need moolah to start businesses and create online income streams based around what you love, I have actually created some free bonuses with this in mind, because that is the other thing. Money always gets allocated to everywhere else bar ourselves. So, and we might be thinking, it's going to take a lot of time, it's going to take a lot of money. I've learned that there are lots and lots of free tools out there that can get you started in tiny pockets of time. And that's something else I'm passionate about. It's proving that we can all start a business or start doing something that we love and turn it into a business, because we are just living in the best time ever, because there is so much available to us. And I've also created some free bonuses with this in mind so that you can see what the potentialities are out there. So to access the incredible gift of a tool, just go to www.passionfinder.online or go to the show notes and click on the link if that's easier for you. Still not sure? Why not just go there and check and see what the free bonuses are? They're worth hundreds of dollars, believe me. And if you want to truly set on the journey of success and you already know you are worth more, why not check out the Secrets of Success Club, created by the person who taught me most of what I've learned today. That is Mr. Russell Brunson. So I talked about in another recent episode what made me decide I'm not messing about anymore, and I'm calling it, I'm manifesting more in motherfucking 24. So if that statement resonates with you and you want to join me on that journey of manifesting more in motherfucking 24 and beyond, I highly recommend taking yourself seriously and checking out the SOS Club to accelerate your journey with the teachings of the great that changed my life, Mr. Napoleon Hill, and many more greats into the bargain. Plus, again, there's also hundreds and hundreds of dollars of bonuses for free with the SOS Club. Step into the greatness that you are and stop stalling and create the life of your dreams starting today. You just simply have to go to the show notes for the information required to access everything you need mentioned in today's show. Be it my free morning routine at mywakeuphappy.com, the Law of Attraction Lovers Club at the LOALOVER.club, or the Fabulous Freedom Passion Finder at passionfinder.online. Or you can also have one-to-one mentoring with me. So just tap on the link tree to see how you can contact me. There's a link tree in the show notes. If you tap on that, you'll find out how you can contact me if you feel that you're ready for one-to-one mentoring to really step this up. Or you can access the largest Napoleon Hill collection of works in the world, worth multiple millions, plus many more legendary greats. And that's the link to learn about the Secrets of Success Club too. You are absolutely living in the best times in history to create the lifestyle you truly desire. I heard the other day on a podcast, and this is why I talk about money freedom's different for everyone. I was actually listening to a podcast on YouTube, and this guy said that somebody else had said the definition of success is not having to set an alarm clock. We don't need millions of dollars to do what we need just to create. Sorry, we don't need millions of dollars. We just need to create our freedom money figure. And that can be a lot less than you think. And that's absolutely achievable in this day and age. And I hope I've inspired you to see that this is possible for you. Or you wouldn't even been brought to this episode today. Remember, my friend, remember there are no accidents. Now I'm off to follow inspired guidance to create a module in the LOA Lovers Club all about money freedom. Oh, did I mention there's a free trial for the LOA Club as well? So don't forget the details are in the show notes, or simply go to LOALOVER.club. That's LOALOVER.club, because I am putting everything into that club now. It's just $7 a month, but there's a free trial, and I'm creating this massive archive of what I found that works and what doesn't work. But I've also created, I felt inspired action recently to create what I'm called the Creator Hub. So all these things that I've learned and how to start a business for free, start an email list, all these things, start a podcast, I'm putting it in what is called the Creator Hub. I'm focusing all my efforts into the Law of Attraction Lovers Club. And I'll leave it there to give you the opportunity to check out all this information. And I wish you a fabulous day, week, month, year, life. Namaste, and thank you for listening.